by sheer coincidence, I broke down in the middle of Kent in my car. It's a long story, but basically a guy got out of a car the other side of the road, started taking pictures of me. He was Paul McMullen, this ex-News of the World features editor. And I was swearing at him, etc. And anyway, I finally got talking to him, and he started boasting about how my phone had been hacked and all the dirtiest tactics of the News of the World, and about their relationship with the police, and about their relationship with 5 successive prime ministers. And I was revolted and astonished. And then I went back a few months later to the pub he now runs in Dover and pretended to be dropping in for a pint. And I bugged him. It seemed like symmetry. And I got him talking again about all these things, and I published them all in the New Statesman.
And what did he admit?
Well, all the things I've just said, that you know, how extensive and what an industrial scale phone hacking went on the News of the World, particularly under Andy Coulson. How it wasn't just the News of the World; it was all the tabloids, and how money regularly passed hands between News International and officers at the Metropolitan Police. How Margaret Thatcher was the first Prime Minister to realise that it's very hard to get elected in this country without the backing of the Murdoch press. So she was the first one to become an undignified sycophant to that organisation, to that media tycoon, a pattern that's been followed by every single Prime Minister since, including this one. And he did, when I asked him, because I'd heard a rumour, I said, and do you think the News of the World hacked the phones of the family and friends of the little girls murdered at Soham? He said, yes, I think that almost certainly happened.
Just stay with us, Hugh, will you? Because Paul McMullen's sitting alongside us now. Do you agree with that version of events?
Yeah, pretty well, except just one final thing. 2 pints of Spitfire cost £6. You owe me £6. He didn't pay for his beer. Apart from that, it was fine.
He sounds like you got on quite well, but how did it feel being turned over by somebody who perhaps your paper had been chasing and trying to turn over for some time?
Well, it was hilarious. I mean, how can Hugh Grant coming in your pub with a silly little pen trying to record you be anything other than hilarious? So I didn't mind being turned over. I suspect he was doing it, although I couldn't believe it. You can't believe that an actor who's very well known would lower himself to such tactics. I was shocked and outraged. No, it wasn't at all.
And Hugh, when you wrote that piece for the New Statesman, I mean, you have appeared a lot, of course, in the tabloid press. You have been targeted for things that you've been caught out. Has this become something of a crusade for you? And do you find that perhaps that there is public interest in some of the things that have been written about you, or do you dismiss that completely?
Well, there's certainly interest, but you know, it's back to that old cliche of what's interesting to the public and what's in the public interest. And I would argue a lot of it, probably all of it's interesting to the public. They're very good at that, but almost none of it is in the public interest.
I've got to say, very few people in Dover who've come in afterwards who, you know, work 8 hours a day on building sites and take home 220 quid a week, have very little sympathy of someone who gets 5 million quid a film bleating on, oh, someone listened to one of my messages once. There's hardly a man or woman, possibly in the country, who would not swap places and tolerate the... Well, I mean, you said it was evil yesterday on Radio 5 Live. It's not really evil. It's all part of the game that helps you win publicity for your latest movies.
Do you think the families and friends of Millie Dowler and of the Soham girls think that it's a game, think it's funny?
No.
Do you think they're earning £5 million a film?
No, indeed. That's why you got no sympathy at all from the people of Dover. And now, unfortunately, because of that mistake, and that it was a mistake by someone who was not a staff member. You're saying
it was a one-off instead of a widespread practice. It was clearly a widespread practice.
No, clearly
you guys had no morals, no scruples at all. You didn't care who got hurt, as long as you were able to sell your newspaper for a lot of money. Your only motive was profit. You're not journalists. You have no interest in journalism. It's just money, money, money.
Our interest was writing truthful stories, and what better source of truth that you can find on someone's own mobile?
Jordan or some footballer. No, you should try real journalism, because you're not an idiot, Paul. You could probably do it.